Hello, today a quick video on getting the most out of this, the DJI Air 3, possibly my favourite model for camping and hiking, given its amazing ability to slice through strong wind and fly rock steady even at the top of mountains. Now, I did a travel video the other week talking about how I travel with the Mini 4 Pro and the Air 3, my two favourite drones for travelling, but I thought it'd actually be good today to do a quick refresh on some of the great features that this model has got to produce what I think is exceptional results from what would otherwise be fairly complex manoeuvres. But they're all too easy to forget because a lot of them are hidden away. Now, I suppose really I should apologise straight away if some of you already know this stuff. I usually find that most people know about some of the features, but few people, and certainly not myself, know all the features. So I thought it'd be a good call just to mention my favourite functions today. If you know them, great. If you don't, then you've learned something new to play with the next time you go flying. But either way, I will try and keep this video as short as possible. So I suppose really, first off, why the Air 3? Well, at present, this is the halfway model between the Mini 4 Pro and the beefy flagship, the Mavic 3 Pro. As of today, there isn't an Air 3S, although I'm guessing if previous form is to go by, we'll be seeing an Air 3S sometime later this year. But even if we do, I'm guessing it will be the same body and battery, but maybe a hybrid gimbal from the Mavic 3 series. So any 3S is probably going to be more about different camera specs. But look, I really don't want to get into too much speculation today. I just want to talk about this bad boy here and now. You know, I've just come back from hiking in Pembrokeshire. When the Mini 4 Pro finally made its match with the wind up there on Rossley Downs, the Air 3 just sailed on as if nothing was happening. But it only comes in at 720 grams. That's about 250 grams lighter than the Mavic 3 series. Max speed is the same as the Mavic 3's, but crucially, its max ascent and descent speed is actually faster, 10 meters per second up and down, which really is great for those fast revealing shots. And of course, its battery life is brilliant for a big drone. Again, more than the Mavic 3 Pro. The Air 3 has got a spec max flight time of 46 minutes. Now in practice, I get a good 35 to 37, 38 minutes before the return to home warning starts up. Being able to line up the shot and not keep worrying about the battery is just great. But it was when I was up in the mountains that I had even more fun with the features that, like I said, are sometimes all too easy to forget. Up on St David's Head, the wind was just bonkers. When you are flying in such windy conditions, it is a good idea to make use of the tap and draw function to highlight the target. If you've got subject scanning option ticked in the settings, then whenever the camera sees a person, it's going to offer you that little green X that floats about. Alternatively, you can just tap and drag a small square to get the same result. Either way, once you've got this green box, it means the camera has set that object as the subject and will do its level best to stay pointed and focused on that subject. Now for me, I actually find the center option, Spotlight, is the quickest and easiest to use. Camera stays fixed on you, but you are free to fly the drone any way you want. The other two options of Active Track 360 and POI, or Point of Interest, they're both great as well, but for simple flying, where you want, how you want, not worrying about the camera, then for me, Spotlight is the great underused function in my opinion. Tap, drag, fly. Simple. Just remember to tap the small green cross to cancel the function, otherwise you might be wondering why the drone will not fly in a particular direction, as the command to keep the camera on subject will override any stick command you give it to fly in a different direction. Now, of course, another key feature is this amazing second lens. If you're used to flying the Mini 4 Pro every day, you're probably going to be shying away from using a zoom because you don't want to lose quality with a digital zoom. So it's very easy to forget about this big old second 70 millimeter medium telephoto lens that gives the equivalent of a 3 times optical zoom at the same resolution. When you're somewhere like up in the mountains with background subjects in the far distance, then using that telephoto lens really, really brings everything closer to you. And you will get this brilliant zoom compression, to use its proper term, filling the foreground with you as the main subject, but also filling the background with everything you would see with your normal vision. Now, if you do want a little bit of fun, of course, then quick shots. They're also great fun to make you the star and make a little video to chuck up on social media, of course. I mean, who doesn't love an asteroid for a laugh? Easy to film, minimal input from you. Just remember where to get to them. You have to tap the selection button above the shutter button on the right of the screen, choose whichever one you want. I'll be honest, of course, not every quick shot is going to look good in any given situation or scenario, but you've got a good choice of very different moves. You've got rocket, asteroid, boomerang, the list goes on. Normally when I'm on flat ground, then boomerang is a firm favourite. You get a nice near and far elliptical circle, if you like, orbit, that brings in the wider background as well. As ever, look, just play around and see what works for you. But in the right spot, you can put the remote down, get some really, really cool little shots and just take in the view. One more thing, thinking about it whilst we're on functions that are easy to forget about, slow-mo. Slow motion is easy to forget because when you're setting the usual resolution and frame rate, you're doing that on the quick access menu at the bottom right of the screen. But the frame rate only goes up to 60 frames per second. If you go up to the video mode selection where you had the quick shots and further down, you'll see the other video settings, including slow-mo. When you select this, you'll get a super slow-mo motion option of 100 or even 200 frames per second, which slows things right down. It allowed me to get this really dreamy sequence looking down on the waves coming in on Rosselli Beach down on the Gower Peninsula. Really, for me, possibly one of the loveliest sequences I have ever filmed. Now, just for comparison, here's that same shot filmed at 60 frames per second. Still amazing, maybe a little bit more dynamic finish really as things are moving a little bit faster, but look, either way, having the option to record fast moving things in slow motion, brilliant, and again, easily forgotten being hidden away on one of those sub menus. Talking about video speed though, there's the other way. Instead of slowing things down, they're speeding things up. Again, I did a video on using the hyperlapse function on the Air 3 not so long ago. Moving subjects like cloud, you will get some really crazy results. Now, this rolling fog up in the Outer Hebrides was filmed with the hyperlapse function and speeds up what was already an amazing sight. This particular video though isn't the smoothest because the Air 3 was up in easily the strongest wind I have probably ever flown in, knocking on the door 50 miles an hour gusts. You can see the water really being chopped up below. And in truth, the only reason I was happy to fly was because the direction of the wind was coming towards me on shore. So if I'd had to land, I could. Remember, strong wind blowing out to sea, never a good situation. So don't be flying in that sort of situation. Thankfully, that's not how it was for me on that particular day. But this shows just how well this beast performs in really strong wind. Look, I'll be honest, I could go on for half an hour probably talking about all the different functions and features, but that's not the point. There are a million different full review videos out there on YouTube. Today, what I wanted to do was just remind you of some of the features you might have forgotten about, but are there to help you get truly amazing results. It's easy to fall into the habit of just pressing record and flying once you take off and get up in the air. And it's easy to understand because there's always a high degree of concentration needed to make sure the flight goes well and nothing bad happens. But what some of these features allow you to do is actually forget about the camera, just focus on the flying, letting you get even better results with less stress. So to me, they really need to be at the forefront of your mind when flying. What function can I use to make this shot even better? And of course, the more you use them, the more you'll remember them and know which one works for you. So look, that's it for today. Look, if I have left out your favourite feature, drop a little comment below. Let me know what features you do make use of on a regular basis to get even better results. No one knows everything, so sharing these ideas, I absolutely love it. But look, enough. Far too long. As ever, little thumbs up if you will. Check out my Insta for more of the travel stuff. Summer ahead. Get out and play with some of these features. Look, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, as ever. Until next time, have fun. Happy flying.